Good afternoon, it's time for Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Patterson. Today we'll head over to Destination Daytona to join Business Beat reporter Michelle Coates and find out just what Bruce Rossmeyer Harley-Davidson is revving up for Bike Week this year. Then we'll rise and shine as health reporter Stephanie Strong tells us why it's important to start the day with a healthy breakfast. And finally, we'll join Community Information Director Dave Byron in the studio for a chat with his guest, Tammy, Marris, Public Information Officer for the Volusia County Beach Patrol. These segments, news, and more coming up on Volusia Magazine. Stay tuned. The roar of the race cars has left Volusia County, but another roar is rolling right in. This year's Bike Week from March 9th through 18th is expected to attract tens of thousands of motorcyclists from around the nation. Many bikers congregate on Main Street in Daytona Beach and at Destination Daytona in Ormond Beach, but the week has become a county-wide event. Volusia County residents and visitors are encouraged to use extra caution when driving during the 10-day event. In 2007, the Volusia County Council launched a Look Twice, Save a Life campaign that is now being used statewide.
Over half of the crashes that involve cars and motorcycles are this type of scenario where a car pulls out in front of a motorcyclist and then we have a crash. So drivers need to look twice, that way they can avoid a crash. Motorcyclists need to be very aware. The types of crashes that we see with motorcyclists usually are from them speeding or for them driving impaired or somebody that's just not been riding a motorcycle long enough. With all these things factored in together here at Bike Week, we want to make sure we have a safe Bike Week. We've seen fatalities reduce over the last couple years and we want to continue that trend.
According to national and local statistics, about half of all motorcycle fatalities are caused by motorists, most often when a motorist is turning left in front of a biker. Motorcycle accidents caused by bikers are usually related to impairment, speed, or inexperience.
When you ride a motorcycle, you have to have extra skills to ride on two wheels. And if you have that one drink, it can fog and cloud your judgment. So we want those motorcyclists to remember to come over here and have a good time, but even one drink is too many to get on a motorcycle. Police will be out in force and there will be a zero tolerance for those people who do drink and ride.
Sharing the roads with motorcyclists requires special attention. Motorists should double check traffic at intersections before pulling out, check their blind spots before changing lanes, and treat motorcyclists with the same respect they give to other motorists. Additional tips can also be found at flhsmv.gov. You know that old saying, spring forward and fall back. It reminds us to turn our clocks ahead in the spring and back in the fall. This year, daylight saving time resumed Sunday, March 11th. Hopefully you remember to turn your clocks forward when you go to bed Saturday night. March 11th also is the day when Volusia County's lawn watering schedule changes. Residents may water their lawns twice a week until standard time resumes in November.
Now you can irrigate anytime except between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., which are the hottest times of the day, and you don't want to irrigate during those times because up to 70% of the water evaporates. So it's very inefficient irrigation at that point. Now there is also other caveats. You just can't irrigate for 16 hours on any given day. You are limited to 1 hour per zone and 3/4 of an inch per zone, whichever comes first. So there are limitations on how long you can water.
Now, people who live at odd-numbered addresses may water Wednesdays and Saturdays, and people at even-numbered addresses may water Thursdays and Sundays. Businesses may irrigate on Tuesdays and Fridays. Unincorporated residents who violate the water conservation ordinance may be fined up to $500. The time change also is a reminder to change the batteries in your smoke alarms. Smoke alarms can save lives if they're functioning properly, but studies show that most smoke alarms don't work because of missing, dead, or disconnected batteries. According to the National Fire Protection Association, 2/3 of home fire deaths occur in homes without a working smoke alarm.
Many of the smoke detectors that are inspected after fire show that there is no battery in place on the detector. That's why we say change your clock, change your battery. It's just a little mnemonic to remember people to, get up there. Most of them are 9-volt in most cases. Just change that battery out, and that way you'll change it before it goes bad. Just keep a fresh battery in it, and that way you'll be sure that your smoke detector is operational.
Volusia County Fire Services and city fire agencies offer free smoke alarms and even installation assistance to residents. Residents are encouraged to contact their local fire department for smoke alarm information. To learn more about water conservation and fire prevention, you can visit volusia.org. In an effort to enhance and raise awareness of the diverse workforce of Volusia County government, County Manager Jim Deneen expanded the county's diversity initiatives and outreach program by adding a project that sparked a bit of friendly competition among the departments. The theme for the county's diversity program, which was observed during February, was Mosaic Masterpiece, Canvassing the Realm of Diversity in 2012. Each department was asked to develop an activity and a display with the ultimate goal of encouraging employees to look beyond the cultural and physical differences and recognize that their uniqueness brings life and vitality to the county.
We have to remember that the people who work for us, that all of us together, are a diverse group. We are a collection of diversity, and what we did this year was we tried to emphasize the individuality and the diversity of each individual as a part of a larger diverse team. And what came out of that, I think, is a new appreciation for the difference in others. I am a believer that if you understand and appreciate your own difference and believe that other people see and appreciate that difference, I think you're more tolerant and more appreciative of the difference in other people.
The displays were judged on a number of criteria, including originality, participation of the staff, and overall incorporation of the theme. The winning departments were first place, Growth and Resources Management, second place, Information Technology, and third place, Library Services. The winners received trophies for display in their respective work areas.
I'm Andy Kelly with the Volusia County Council. The St. Johns River is one of the gems of West Volusia County. This beautiful waterway is a haven for manatees and a mecca for fishermen and boaters. You can support the river by buying a St. Johns River specialty license plate. For each plate that is purchased, $25 is sent to the St. Johns River Alliance, a not-for-profit group that helps conservation, education, research, and cleanup efforts of the waterway. You can purchase a St. Johns River license plate at your local tag and title office. Thank you.
With Bike Week upon us, it makes sense to talk to one of the largest participants, the folks at Rossmeyer Harley-Davidson. Michelle Coates with the Business Beat headed to Bruce Rossmeyer Harley-Davidson at Destination Daytona.
Volusia County is geared up and ready for the 71st annual Bike Week. We're here at Bruce Rossmeyer Harley-Davidson at Destination Daytona, a supersized dealership equipped for a supersized event. Motorcycling is a multi-billion-dollar industry that benefits local retailers, the hospitality industry, restaurants, and motorcycle-related businesses. The industry generates over $25 billion in equipment, accessories, travel, entertainment, apparel, and financial services, according to the Motorcycle Industry Council. New motorcycle sales account for about $10 billion. Today, there are more than 450 makes and models on the market. The Destination Daytona Harley-Davidson shop boasts more than 350 Harley-Davidsons to choose from. We spoke to Rossmeyer Harley-Davidson General Manager Shelley Rossmeyer Pepe in the 109,000 square foot world's largest dealership at Destination Daytona.
We're hoping to have a huge crowd here for Bike Week this year, 2012. We're getting a lot of participation with our vendors and just the overall motorcycle industry.
The streets of Volusia County fill with chromed thunder as hundreds of thousands of motorcycles annually converge upon the area. Bike Week is a biker festival of epic proportions with an estimated 500,000 bikers attending.
That's huge. I mean, most dealers don't get an opportunity to have that many people in or around their dealership in 2 years. We get it in 10 days.
Within 10 days, bikers spend an estimated $300 million in the local economy. In fact, About 92% of motorcycle enthusiasts travel for vacation, spending more than $3,000 per vacation. Bike Week is enjoyed by locals and motorcycle enthusiasts from around the globe. To accommodate the influx of visitors and customers, Rossmeyer Harley increases its staffing.
We have just about 90 employees on a fairly full-time basis, but we about double that during the event.
Motorcyclists account for about 5% of Florida's motoring public. The majority of motorcycle enthusiasts are college educated, married, and earn a higher than average income. The average rider in the United States is just under 50 years of age, and female riders are a rising demographic.
More and more women are just a part of this whole group. I mean, from not buying clothing, buying motorcycles, and with that comes all of the accessorizing of the bikes. And
while owning a motorcycle is much more affordable in many ways compared to having a car, the median household income of motorcycle owners exceeds that of the average American. But sales are expected to get a boost in the coming year due to skyrocketing gas prices, bringing more cycle devotees into the core user group, and further changing the face of the motorcycle consumer.
The coolest part about coming up here is just the crowd. I mean, when you see all the motorcycles in line, ready to park and then get off their bikes.
Rossmeyer Harley-Davidson is poised to serve those customers across Volusia County. The Beach Street location offers Bike Week events and a museum for history buffs. After all, Bike Week began in 1937 with the running of the Daytona 200 on the sands of our local beach. The dealerships at Destination Daytona and in New Smyrna Beach offer shopping from Harley-Davidson retail to vendors to entertainment and food.
Bike Week has something to offer everyone, no matter what your taste. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Michelle Coates with the Business Beat.
Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. The Women, Infants, and Children program at the Volusia County Health Department is making sure you know the benefits of eating a balanced breakfast to start your day. Public Information Officer Stephanie Strong has more on this segment of Community Health Matters.
As the sun rises, it means the start of a brand new day. Rise and shine also means it's breakfast time. The benefits of eating breakfast. Breakfast prepares you to listen, think, and remember. Breakfast helps you maintain a healthy body weight by not overeating later in the day. Breakfast keeps your energy level up. Breakfast stabilizes your mood, and breakfast meets basic nutrition needs. The Volusia County Health Department's Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, or WIC, is putting the spotlight on the importance of eating breakfast with a statewide campaign called Rise and Shine. It's breakfast time.
Our Fall 2010 campaign is Rise and Shine, It's Breakfast Time. It focuses on the importance of eating breakfast, 3 different foods from 3 different food groups.
Hi, I'm Tanya Marchena, WIC and Nutrition Services Community Outreach Supervisor. Taking the time to eat a healthy breakfast is easier than you think. Here are some 5-minute ideas for meals to make when you're in a hurry. What we have here is a whole grain cereal topped with your favorite fresh fruit, 4 ounces of juice, and of course, low-fat milk. You can make yourself a breakfast burrito using a corn tortilla with scrambled eggs, spinach, or beans. To add variety to your day, try some hot cereal and a fresh fruit along with a glass of low-fat milk. Take a slice of whole grain bread, add some cheese, a side of fresh fruit, 4 ounces of juice, and you have a nutritious breakfast. Another tip to try is to take some grits, add a little low-fat margarine, a side of fresh fruit, and a glass of low-fat milk. Here's to breakfast. Enjoy.
Thanks, Tanya. Although mornings may be hectic with work and school, as you see, preparing breakfast can be as easy as 1, 2, 3. These are some of the approved WIC foods that you can use to make a quick, easy, and nutritious breakfast in minutes. For more information about the WIC and Nutrition Program or about the importance of eating breakfast, please visit www.volusiahealth.com or call 1-866-WIC-FOOD. For Volusia Magazine and on behalf of the Volusia County Health Department, your guide to better health, I'm Public Information Officer Stephanie Strong.
For more information about Florida's WIC and nutrition program or about the importance of eating your breakfast, you can visit volusiahealth.com. We turn our attention into the studio and join in with Volusia County Community Information Director Dave Byron and his guest, Public Information Officer for Beach Patrol, Tammy Marris.
Well, thanks, Amber, and hello, everyone. You know, one of the best summer jobs around for physically fit high school or college-age youth is being a Volusia County lifeguard. The Volusia County Beach Patrol is now recruiting for summer lifeguard positions, and we want to tell you how you can qualify. With us in the studio today is Beach Patrol Captain Tammy Marris. Tammy, how you doing?
Good, how are you? Thanks for having me here today.
Absolutely, nice to have you with us. I know you're a little bit into the recruiting process, and we'll talk about that in a second. But let's talk about first what it's like to be a lifeguard. It's a pretty serious job.
Yes, it's along with a lot of people think they're going to go on the beach, have a lot of fun, be in the sun, which is one thing. We get to work out every day. It's great. But it is a lot of responsibility. You're responsible for all the people in your water, in your area.
Tammy, you know, for those folks that don't follow the makeup of the Volusia County Beach Patrol, it's sort of interesting how you put the team together. You have a nucleus of full-time people like yourself, and those folks are triple certified as police officers, as EMTs, and professional lifeguards. And then you bring on these part-time positions that are basically your tower positions. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. We have the part-time lifeguards that sit the towers during the day.
And Tammy, again, for those folks that are maybe watching this for the first time, the triple certification that you and the other members of the full-time team have is not unique, but there aren't that many agencies that do it this way.
Correct. We're one of the only agencies in the state, and there's just a few in the country that are triple trained and do everything that we do on the beach.
And I guess the advantage of that is you're able to use the full-time people for all three of those jobs at hand. So at one moment you could be doing a law enforcement function, another moment providing first aid, medical help, and then in another moment you could be in the water. So
yes, we do all three things, and just about everything that happens on the beach we take care of.
Tammy, obviously, you know, as we said, being a lifeguard is a very serious responsibility. I know in kind of the epic year for rescues, I think your team made something like 5,700 rescues in 1 year. Is that right?
Yes, we could make that many rescues in 1 year, up to 200-300 a day sometimes. And
I guess that's very dependent on what the rip current tidal conditions are. I know. I've talked in years past with lifeguards that they themselves have been on several rescues in one day.
Correct, yes. Some days we won't have any rescues, and like I said, other days we could have up to 200 in one day, just depending on the current, the wind, the weather.
And I would think, you know, you get off that tower and you run into the water because you're trying to get there as quickly as possible. You yourself have to fight the surf to get to the victim and so forth. I would imagine that in and of itself, just one of those occurrences is a pretty physically taxing thing.
Yes, it is. That's why we work out every day.
Right.
You can go in the water. Sometimes you could have up to 2, 3, 4 victims in one rescue.
Tammy, so when you're looking for young lifeguards, what sort of attributes are you looking for? I mean, obviously, I think that you've got to be physically fit.
Yeah, of course you have to be physically fit, and we will determine that when you come through the recruit class. You're scored based on the scenarios that you do and your physical ability, but also they score you on your maturity level and your responsibility.
So first of all, I mean, I guess it's a given that you have to be a pretty high quality swimmer.
Yes, high quality swimmer, a mature, responsible, and just be compassionate and want to help people.
Let's talk about the seriousness of the position, Tammy. As we mentioned earlier, you know, at a moment's notice, you literally can be on a life-saving mission. When you look at these young people that are trying to become lifeguards, particularly those that maybe are trying to be a lifeguard for the first time, what kind of personality traits or are you looking for? What kind of things do you look for to spot this person has the qualities, the makeup or whatever to be a good lifeguard?
Well, you obviously want somebody that's familiar with the water, somebody
Sure.
that has been around the water, but that's one thing we teach them. A lot of things, or a lot of times we have lifeguards and they spot a rip current and get the people away from it before they even get caught in it.
Right. And I would imagine that as part of the training, you all have a certain protocols that you must have to go through as you enter that water. I mean, how do you, like, for example, notify backup help or let people know you're going into the water? How does that work?
Well, when a part-time guard decides that they're going to go on a rescue, and we always teach them, even if you're not sure if the person's in trouble, go on the rescue.
Right.
What they do is they call on the radio for backup from our full-time personnel,
Right.
and then they enter the water, and we respond to the scene to back them up if they need it. Most of the time, the lifeguards that are sitting in the tower usually have the victim out of the water before we get on scene.
And you could have multiple potential drowning victims.
Correct. We have sometimes we have up to 5, 6, 7, 8 victims in one rescue.
Take us through, if you will, kind of a typical day. You know, you're a young lifeguard, you get hired by the County Beach Patrol. It's rather prestigious to work for the County Beach Patrol. How do they start their day, and kind of take us through what a typical day would be?
Well, they get to work and they get all their equipment ready. They get all their stuff ready so that as soon as they're done with our daily drill, they can go right to their towers and be on time. But we do a briefing, a short briefing, and then we do a very vigorous workout, running and swimming. And then that's when after the workout, they go to their tower for the day.
When you go through the daily briefing, what sort of things do you talk about?
Well, a lot of times we talk about complacency. Don't ever get complacent, because when you get complacent, that's when people die. And we also talk about other personnel issues, rules, policies, and things that maybe that they're not doing right, or things that they are doing right, and we praise them for.
Do you go through weather conditions, potentially rip current conditions, or the probability of thunderstorms, or those kinds of things?
Oh yes, we talk about the weather conditions every day, whether there's going to be a storm coming, or whether we're flying a yellow flag or a red flag for the day. And sometimes if we do have bad rip current conditions in the morning, we will skip the daily workout and go straight to the towers so the guards can get there early.
I've never been able to do it myself, but I know that you folks that work on the beach, you can actually spot the rip currents from the tower or as you're going by. How do you spot a rip current? What do you look for?
It's a trough of water that usually when everything else is when you have a wave and you have a little spot in the wave that's calm, or a white water wash, you'll see, and it's kind of more murky than the rest of the water, and it's easy to spot that way. It's easier to spot when there's actually something in it, like a person, but a lot of times if you're not trained to see a rip current, you don't know it's there. So that's why it's very important to always swim in front of a lifeguard, because that's what they're specifically trained for, to see and spot the rip current.
All right, you're caught in a rip current. What are you supposed to do?
If you're caught in a rip current, first thing, don't panic.
Right.
A lot of people panic and try to swim straight back into shore, and that tires them out, and usually that's when drownings occur.
Right.
We do ask that you swim parallel to shore and don't panic. Just float if you have to, but do not fight the current.
Right.
And try to yell for help.
All right, so the particulars of the lifeguard recruiting this year, how many positions are you trying to fill this year?
We have just under 100 positions that we're trying to fill.
Is that pretty much what you fill on the course of every year, or is that more or less?
That's probably a little bit less than every year. It just depends on how many returning guards we have come back from school, but that's approximately the same every year.
I know there's been talk at the county council level and at Mr. Janeen's level, the county manager, about changing the age limit for young lifeguards, and I guess there is a change this year. Tell us about that change.
All applicants must be 17 years old, and they must go, that's the only change, is they must be 17 instead of 16, and they must do a background. We have to background check for them, and they must go through a physical and a drug screening test.
And what about kids that were 16 last year? Maybe they haven't quite turned 17.
Once they turn 17, they'll be able to work for us.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So what are the requirements to be a summer lifeguard? I mean, what do you have to do to qualify?
You have to swim a 500-meter swim in 10 minutes or less, a 50-yard freestyle swim in less than 50 seconds, or 30 seconds, I'm sorry. And then you have to swim or run a half mile in under 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
So automatically you figure out who's physically fit and,
yes.
and who isn't, who can swim and who can't.
And those requirements do weed out a lot of people.
Right.
The 500-meter swim, if you swim that not quite in 10 minutes, if you swim it under 11 minutes, you can still attend a recruit class, but you will not be able to work until you get your time down to 10 minutes or less.
And as far as the pay is concerned, pretty good summertime job working for Volusia County. What's the pay?
It's a great paying job for a part-time personnel, and for the teenagers coming in that are on break from school, it's a little over $9 an hour, $9.37 an hour.
And oftentimes you have returning lifeguards that come back all the way through high school, all the way through college.
Yes. We have a lot of returning guards. Usually when people come down on the beach and work for a couple years, especially if they have had a couple rescues under their belt, they definitely return. They love it.
And some people become full-time professional lifeguards for their whole careers. A lot of the full-time people on the beach today working for the county started in some even in junior lifeguard program, but some as part-time lifeguards.
Oh, absolutely. I started as a part-time guard myself, and it's one of those jobs where you know right away if it's something you want to do the rest of your life.
Get to go to the beach every day.
Yes.
Tammy, so for people out there that may be interested, I know you have sort of started your recruiting process, but for those people that may want to get in at the last minute, try to qualify, how do they do that?
The best thing to do is go to volusia.org and beaches, and you can find out all the information you need to on the tryout dates and times and the recruit class dates.
And you'll be bringing these folks on, what, generally a little bit before Memorial Day?
Yes. Memorial Day is the start of our season.
And they will work pretty much as long as they can work
through
right
Labor Day,
right
or
up through
even
Labor Day.
after. If the weather's good, we need them after Labor Day also.
Well, Tammy, I want to thank you very much for sharing the information with us. Certainly one of the most important positions that Volusia County has working on the beach. So I know you'll have a great group of recruits this year. Again, thanks for sharing the information.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Our guest today, Tammy Marris, captain with the Volusia County Beach Patrol. And with that, Amber, we'll go back to you.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about our program, you can give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org. You can also watch the show online. Just go to volusia.org and click on the Volusia Magazine icon. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today, Volusia County Government's public information radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. And finally, we'd like to invite you to the next Volusia County Council meeting, which is scheduled for Thursday, March 15th at 9 a.m. in the County Council chambers in DeLand. Public participation is welcome. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a great evening.